Hey, it's welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday, October 3rd. I'm really excited about this week coming up. I found out my offset smoker from Lone Star Grills is coming on Thursday the 7th at 10 a.m. I can't wait. So today I'm going to be using the Weber Kettle and something that's called Slow and Sear. It's the contraption that allows you to put charcoal, a tray of water, and then cook your ribs off on the side for indirect heat. What I've got here is something I've never seen before. It is a rack of pork spare ribs that weighs 8.5 pounds. I've never seen one that big. So I'm anxious to get a hold of these guys once they come off the grill. So what I'm gonna do is go out and get the charcoal started and then come back in and clean these guys up and square them up and get them ready for the grill. So I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. I've got my torch and tumbleweed fire starter. Get that started. And with this slow and sear, you need to add water to the reservoir here. There we go. I filled it up. I'll let this charcoal catch. What I'm using today is Jealous Devil, the extra big pillow briquettes. So I'm gonna start it at one end and let it burn like a snake down to the end. That way you can do a low and slow cook for over time. So if you come in, I put the grill on top of this and the ribs cook on this side while the heat's coming from that side. So let me put the grill on, I'll show you. And with the Weber grill, you can open that door to add more charcoal if you need to. So, I'm gonna go ahead and let this burn and get started. And go in the house and clean those ribs up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back in the house with these huge ribs. I'm gonna cut them out of the packaging, wash them up, and I'll put them back here on the board, and I'll bring you back when I start to trim them up. Okay, we're back. I've cleaned these ribs up. I've washed them off. I'm gonna show you a little secret. See those wet paper towels under this board? I put that in there so this board doesn't slip. So that's a little trick. Sharpened my knives earlier. These are cheap knives. I would like a knife set from Dow Strong for Christmas. We'll see. So here is the back side of these ribs, and I've never seen so much meat in my life. So I got a lot of trimming to do to square them up and make them pretty. So I'm gonna start off by removing the skirt first. There's a lot of meat on this thing. So once I remove the skirt, and kind of square this off a little bit. Breakfast. So there is quite a bit of fat on the back side. Like I said, this is 8.5 pounds of spare ribs in one rack. So I mean, it's the biggest one I've ever dealt with. So really anxious to see how they taste when they come off the fire. What I'm using today to cook them with is a mixture of kosher salt, 16 mesh ground pepper, some paprika for some color, and just a dash of cayenne pepper. So we'll see how those come out. So I'm finding the bones over there, and they run around here like that. So we need to take the chef's knife. There's the very first bone, and we want to come up around here and square it up a little bit. So there's the bone. Take this chef's knife, cut a square right there, like that. Remove that meat. Okay, now we want to make it kind of uniform here to make like a straight line across, like this. And I'm going to leave the breastplate in it. You know, it's just food for the family. Now, if this was a competition, I'd remove that breastplate. I'm not going to do that. So, let's trim this little skirt back some more here. Some of this fat. Like that. All right, let's turn it over and see how it looks on the top side there. This looks pretty good here. Let me get a paper towel and dry that off. I still need to take the membrane off the ribs here. You want to dry it off as much as you can. And then take you a butter knife and run it up under that membrane and see if you can rip it all off at one time. If you're lucky, it all comes off. So let me turn this around. I'm left-handed. Let me get my butter knife. Dry that up some more. Get it up under that membrane like that. And raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Then you take, this is real slippery, you take your paper towel and grab a hold of it so you can hold on to it and start tearing it off like this. Like I said, sometimes it comes off in one big chunk, and sometimes it tears and breaks, and it's a pain in the butt. This one's looking good. Looks like it's coming off in one piece. Oh yeah, look at there. Lucky, got it. One piece. Expose those ribs. Now they can get rubbed. All right, let's turn it over and see what they look like on the other side. I still need to square that up. That's okay. That's going to burn right here on this corner. That's okay. That's okay. I still need to cut some off this end here. If that's a bone, that's a bone. Let's cut it right here. I'll use that. It's a lot of meat for breakfast over there. Now, that is a nice looking rack of ribs right there. So, I may trim a little bit of fat off here and there, and then I'm gonna come back and put the rub on it. So I'll bring you right back. Okay, I'm back. I've cleaned these guys up real nice, and I'm about to put the rub on them. So, kosher salt, 16 mesh black pepper, paprika, and a dash of cayenne pepper. So here we go. Okay, let's turn them over. Oops. Get Get the back side by the bones. After I remove that membrane, the rub can penetrate the bones now. I bought 4 of these cooling racks off of Amazon. They're well worth the money. You can cool your meat on them, put the rub on. I really like them. All right. I'm gonna let these sit here and sweat for about 30 minutes. And you'll see when I come back to put these on the fire, they'll be red and shiny where the moisture is sucked out of the meat, and then it'll go back in. That's a really good sign when your ribs are good, red and shiny. So there we go. Give it 30 minutes, maybe 40, and I'm gonna come back and get them and put them on the fire. Okay, welcome back. We're gonna put the ribs on the fire. What I'm gonna do is take some olive oil and wipe this grill down. There you go. So here the ribs are all nice and shiny. And what we'll do is put them on the indirect side of this Weber kettle, just like that. Charcoal's on one side. I also put some chunks of apple wood in there, apple chunks, so it give me a little smoke from apple. So we'll put the top back on, put the vents on the side of the meat so the smoke goes there. Cut it down just a hair. And watch the temperature. I'll bring you back. Okay, welcome back. I've taken the ribs off the kettle. They look really, really good. I'm gonna slide them onto the cutting board here. And I've had them cooling here on that rack for about 30 minutes now. So I'm gonna cut into this one. Let me turn it over so I can see where that bone starts. There we go. Oh yeah. Look at that smoke ring in there. And the bark, nice and firm. It's really a nice bark. What I want to do is try some of the Head Country barbecue sauce I get from H-E-B. That's my favorite. I don't care who it is. That's my favorite. Just put some here on this plate and give this rib a taste. Oh, my mouth's watering. Look at that. It's beautiful. Mmm. Mmm. That is wonderful. Get the salt and pepper, and at the end there's just a little heat from the cayenne pepper. Let me try one other bite here. Get that bark. Mm-hmm. That slow and sear in the Weber kettle is wonderful. The whole time, that Weber kettle never got over 300 degrees. And that's hard to do to control one of those kettles. So, if you would, please give me a thumbs up for this video. I probably won't be cooking anything next weekend, but I'll be showing you my brand new offset smoker from Lone Star Grills and doing a first burn in with it. So please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again when I'm cooking.